In this video, I would like to give you a preview of a feature we're implementing on SCRP. SCRP-Assistant, an AI research assistant who can work for you autonomously on the cluster. So what is SCRP? SCRP is a high-performance computing cluster managed by the CUHK Department of Economics, offering teachers, students access to R, Stata, Python, and MATLAB. It is one of the most powerful computer cluster to reside in the Department of Economics. SCRP is designed to facilitate both research and teaching. All our students, from undergrads to PhD, utilize SCRP for their coursework and research. Ease of access is a core consideration. Compared to most university clusters, we offer more modes of access in an easier way. The documentation website is available on scrp.ezon.chuhk.edu.hk. So why might you want to use SCRP? Well, first, it's very fast. It's a cluster that has over 2,000 modern AMD CPU cores. It gives you access to a lot of CPU cores, and we have 40 top-of-the-line NVIDIA GPUs, plus a number of additional consumer-grade GPUs. This is by far the most powerful computing hardware you will find in any Department of Economics. We offer multiple modes of access: browser, remote desktop, and SSH. For most other students, browser-based access is the most convenient, and as you'll see, this is what we'll be focusing on today. It's also a fully managed solution, so we have bi-hourly local backup, daily offsite backup, and we have help desk helping you on all sorts of issues, ranging from just normal coding to like hardware installation. Now, building on top of SCRP is SCRP-Chat, a generative AI service offered by the department since over a year ago. The benefit of using SCRP-Chat, which you can think of as our own local version of ChatGPT, is that it offers you browser and API access to state-of-the-art models with text and vision capabilities. Information pass-through models never leaves our on-premise servers. They are located right in ELB, making it suitable for processing proprietary data. High performance. The models are running on our top-of-the-line GPUs, so we can serve these models at speed up to 155 tokens per second for fairly large models. So finally, the most important thing is it's free for SCRP users. If you're using commercial solution, you'll be looking at pretty expensive monthly subscription fee, and even then, you would be facing quotas and limits. On SCRP, we just let you use it, right? It's fully funded by the department, and there's no cap on how much you can use the service. So these are the models we're supporting right now. GOM 4.6 is the most powerful model, one of the most powerful model coming from China. It's a 355 billion parameter model. It's very smart, especially suitable for coding and the harder tasks. We also have GPT OSS, the first open source model from OpenAI. It's essentially an open source version of OpenAI's last generation model. It's very fast, and it's also pretty smart given how fast it is. And finally, we have a Quane free VL so that's vision model from Quane of Alibaba. This model, the token speed is not correct here. The tokens is actually 105 instead of 21. Here you go. I have it corrected. The vision model can process at 105 tokens per second. It's very fast for OCR purpose, and it's very accurate, particularly with Chinese content. It's vastly better than anything that comes like 1 year earlier. So here's a demo of SCRP-Chat, just in case you have never used it. So the website for SCRP-Chat is scrp-chat.chuhk.edu.hk. And once again, if you need documentation, you can go to scrp.econ.chuhk.edu.hk. And we have very detailed documentation on every feature we offered, including SCRP-Chat. Right. Now, for today's purpose, let's just log in with one of my test account. Right, so this is what you can see. On the top, you can select different models. We also have image editing capabilities if you need them. Um, so the the default vision, text, and reasoning is the auto switch between the different models. But you can also select individual models if you necessary. One of the thing I want to mention is that the vision models and GOM 4.6, these models have a rate limit. You can do 180 requests per minute, whereas the GPT-OS specifically allows you to do 500 requests per minute. So you can just ask it questions like you would normally would, like uh what is the derivative of x squared plus 3? Right, you can do that no problem. And if you have images, you can also just drag and drop inside in right here, and it will work. Let me demonstrate to you, right? So that just here I have a picture, well, of a integration, right? So, right, so it's a picture. So we're just gonna drag and drop right here, solve the question. There you go. You can do that, right? And you can also do web search. You can for example, what is the you can do like just you have to enable web search. And what you can do, what is the ranking of CUHK Department of Economics in 2005, right? You can do that. You can also generate images. Once again, these features are disabled by default for safety reasons. So if you need to generate image, just click on this button. You see it turns blue and say generate an image of a panda in Hong Kong. Right? Then you can generate images too. Right, there you go. The image model is backed by Queen Image, one of the best image model coming out of China, right? So, right, so there it is. And if so, these are the features of SCRP Chat, which you may have used already. Now, here we want to introduce a new feature that will formally launch very soon. SCRP Assistant is an AI research assistant living on the SCRP cluster. What can it do autonomously? Well, it can code, it can run analysis, on the compute nodes even, like GPU nodes, no problem. You can read articles, summarize, write reports, understand and generate images. Basically, this assistant has full understanding of what the cluster is capable of and can work as you instruct. The way to use this is very simple. Simply add files to a folder in our browser-based Jupyter interface, launch the AI assistant, and give it instructions. Right, so let's take a look. In order to use SCRP Assistant, you would go to one of our login nodes, login to our Jupyter. Right, so, okay, not this one. So let's use one of our test account. Right, so this is the Jupyter interface, and okay, can switch between the theme, the dark mode if necessary. If you prefer it that way, it actually looks. I think the AI assistant works better in this mode. Right, I'm gonna do a series of demonstration. So to make it to use the AI assistant, what you want to do is to create a new folder. Not here, right here, right? And just call it say call it something. Let's say demo one. I'm gonna call it demo one. Right. So once you go in the folder, um, you add files that you might need. So here, I'm gonna have a few demonstration. The first one, let's just do this one first. Um, this is our MSc written test that we have sent to our actual students, actual applicants, a week ago, and we don't reuse our questions, so this is safe to show you right now. We just have the AI do the math on its own and output a solution. So there you go. We're going to drag and drop the file here. Drag and drop the file here. And then how do you launch the systems? Simple. On the File Explorer, just right-click AI Assistant. Now, the first time you do this, it's going to ask you for an API key. You can actually use an outside API key if you want. Like if you have subscription to OpenAI or Claude, you could use it here. Of course, if you here we're going to demonstrate our SCRP-Chat. So go to Settings, Account, API key. If you don't have one yet, just create one. Then click the copy button and paste it here. All right. I'm just going to change it afterwards, so it's okay to show here. All right. The other settings, again, the base URL. Once again, if you're using OpenAI or Claude, you would want to change this, and the model's name. These are all set to what the SCRP assistant is going to use by default. Now, our default coding agent that power our system would be Quane. And the Quane interface have four modes you can use. Normally for coding, we want to be more conservative in how much freedom you give the AI agent. However, when it comes to using the AI agent as research assistants, you want to give it a lot of freedom. Otherwise, what it's going to do is going to come back to you and keep asking you for permissions to do all sorts of things, and that would not be very autonomous. So we would actually recommend you to choose YOLO, which sounds scary, but because SCRP is running, your SCRP account is running on our servers, it's completely isolated from your own computer. So no matter what the AI agent does, it cannot mess up with your files on your own computer. So for users who are going to be mostly using the AI research assistant, we would recommend that you just go YOLO, right? We have backups on the cluster, so it's basically pretty safe. For users who are heavy users of SCRP without the assistance, like thanks to a lot of you, you are like using SCRP for your work. Then you might be worried that giving the AI agent full autonomy might be too risky. For that purpose, we will be introducing an additional layer of isolation later on. So that's why this is still a preview, right? You can use it now, but we all currently we do not have a double layer isolation that you might want. But there's still a single layer isolation from your own computer. So once again, it's quite safe. So let's just go one. All right. It actually sets up free assistants, free coding agents for you. Quane, Codex from OpenAI, and the continue extension for VS Code. But Quane is the default because Quane is actually fully integrated to the cluster. So it knows what the cluster can do. In fact, you can just ask it, like, what can you do? Right? And it could tell you all sorts of things it can do, right? Right, as you see, it knows that it can do RS data in MATLAB. It knows you can run Python scripts with GPU support. So and you can generate images. So once again, it's aware of what it can do. Now, let me just make it bigger. Otherwise, it might be hard to see. All right, there you go. All right, here. Just maybe it will be easier for you to see what's going on. Now, here, I'm just going to ask it to do the test. So it's very simple. Just say, do the test for me. That's it. You don't even need to mention the file name. By default, the Queen agent is confined to working in this particular folder, so it would just look at the folder and decide what to do. It's not going to look elsewhere. Um, come okay. The agent says, "Well, what do you want to do for what exactly what do you do? Okay, complete it for me." Okay, and it's going to read it. Now, I want to emphasize that you want to treat the AI agent like an actual human research assistant, in that whatever it takes humans to do, it will take time for the AI to do too, right? So you shouldn't expect miracle that is going to complete in like 5 seconds. It will take a bit of time, and the best way to think about this is that the AI agent, um, just like a research assistant where you communicate with instant messaging or email, right? So whatever you can ask a human research assistant to do through email, you can just do it with the AI research assistant. So it's going to take a bit of time. So I'm just going to fast forward and come back when it's completed. You can see the time it takes. So right now, so we'll come back when it's done. Right, so welcome back. Like, and after about 2 to 3 minutes, it tells me it's just completed the task. And let's see on the left-hand side, okay, it has a PDF. This PDF, oh, looks pretty nice. It's actually output from LaTeX, so it's well formatted, with the complete solutions, and you can trust me on it. We have actually have the actual grader grade this submission along with the other applicants, and this app, like, needless to say, the AI assistant actually got the highest score among all applicants. So it gets basically gets everything correct, and um basically passed. It would have passed if it's an actual applicant. So this is what it can do for you. These kind of math is standard. I guess it's just straightforward enough that AI assistant will have no problem solving. Let's try another task. All right. So once again, whenever you have a task, you want to start a new folder because that's the way it works. You can see the folders right here. So I'm just going to quit this assistant because it's done. And I exit. Now I'm going to have a new folder. Oh, wait. Sorry. Press the wrong button. Where's the folder? Where's the folder gone? Just going to start a new one again. Um, demo 2. Right, in the demo 2, um, I'm going to ask it to do the Stata assignment we give to final year undergraduate students. Now let's take a look at the assignment. The assignment itself is actually designed to so that each student has their own data set. And there's an instruction here that says if your computer ID is S1155 blah 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 blah, you should download it, right? You should download it. Now, um, we're gonna have the AI agent download the data too. Now, in this assignment, you see that it's a standard analysis based on the birth rate, birth weight. And the thing is about this assignment is the data has to be downloaded, and the folder for each student is different. Here, this link leads to a SID that actually does not work. There's no, if you try to click on it, it's not going to work. It doesn't exist. The student has to substitute in their own SID for this to work. And I can tell you, every year there are a lot of students who couldn't do this on their own. And here we're going to try this out. Once again, we want the AI agent to do everything for us, so we don't have to do anything. So let's go here. AI assistant. All right. Please do the assignment for me. My compute ID is 1155. Now I'm going to use a different one, right? We're not going to use 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 because that's already on there and it doesn't exist. Instead, let's do like a just any student ID that actually exists. Here I'm going to use 654321, which actually is something that I provide on there. All right. So once again, it's going to read the PDF, and it's going to do everything on its own, reading the assignment. Now, the PDF reading is based on the image recognition. So it's going to first convert the PDF to images and use a vision model to read it. The benefit of that is that it's able to see charts and diagrams. So the formatting is not an issue. On the other hand, it could lead to a lot of images being made because if it's a 99-page PDF, then there's going to be 99 images. But on the balance, this is a better approach because PDF formatting is a hard thing to deal with if you can only work with pure text. But if you know it's pure text, you can tell the AI not to convert the PDF to images, and it will be fine. All right, so you see that it tells me the data has been downloaded. It's going to do the analysis on its own, right? The AI agent is aware of the computing resources available in the cluster. So it is actually capable of launching jobs on our compute nodes if necessary. You can also tell it to do that on your own if you want to. Overall, the benefit of this agent is that you can actually control and the cluster and run analysis based on natural language. You don't have to know any coding syntax. All right. Um, is actually able to, one thing that's very interesting is that it's actually able to figure out that analysis might not work if the variables actually string text data instead of numeric data. So it's actually able to figure that out on its own without any input from me. Right? So it's been running for almost 2 minutes. Once again, whatever you don't think a human research assistant can do immediately, don't expect the AI to do it. It does take time. Right. Another thing is interesting because uh, we are using our cluster always have the newest version of Stata. Right now, I think it's 19.5, and then Stata syntax changed over the years, so some of the commands work differently in different versions. And then once again, the AI is actually able to figure it out on its own, although it would have to do some trial and error to see which version of Stata syntax it should use. All right, once again, I'm going to pause the recording and we'll come back once it's done. Oh, actually, it's done. All right. All right. So you still have to do the LaTeX. LaTeX itself is also time consuming. If you have written LaTeX, you know converting LaTeX to PDF itself would take a bit of time. All right, there you go. And it's done. And let's take a look at again, once again. Here's the solution. I didn't provide a name. If I provide a name, it probably is going to have it. Now let's take a look, make sure it has done up right. As you see here, these are the assignment converted to images. The data file has been downloaded here. I have verified that it's actually the right data, and I actually have the solution, so I can tell you it is correct. Yeah, yeah, it's done its job, right? So fully formatted. If you provide a name, it would probably type it will type the name into and nicely formatted. And if a student submit this, I'm pretty sure he or she would get full score in this assignment. Right? I All right, there you go. It's fully automated. All right, that's the second example. Done. Which is okay. Let's go. Now, in my final demo, this one is going to be harder. So what I'm going to do is I really wanted to be able to do like a whole paper for me, and not only I needed to do run some analysis. I actually wanted to I actually wanted to do the literature review for me. Now, one thing that the AI model, the AI agent assistant is not very good at is downloading papers. The reason is that it can search for papers, but then a lot of the websites, the academic publishing websites, they block AI agents. So, and in addition to the normal paywall, it's not very reliable if you want the AI agent to download the papers for you. They can find the paper for you with the links, but it's safer if you just download the papers manually in the browser. Otherwise, and you would see that that these AI agents would quickly get blocked by all these academic publishers, right? But here I have the papers, right? I have the papers. I'm going to drag and drop, upload that there. Um, Let me find the data. I need the data set to, right? So I have added the literature and I also have the data. Now the data is downloaded from Kaggle. It's housing price data and pretty standard stuff, right? So we're trying to predict the price. And it also have description, also from Kaggle. And so we're just going to drag the whole thing up. That's right there. And now here's the technique, is that if you have a lot of instructions and you don't want to type interactively, you can just type it in some sort of instruction text. There is the standard name it would recommend, but it doesn't really matter. You can here I just call it instruction.txt. Like here are the tasks I want to do. I want to study the relationship between housing price and the other variables, and my name and stuff. And I tell it what kind of structure it should have: introduction, literature review, data description, regression, conclusion, reference, right? And then where the data is, where it's supposed to do literature review. Oh, typo. So you should do literature review, right? And the research article, relevant research articles is in the literature folder. Analysis as right, and right. So right. So yep. And results report how it should be look like and stuff. And here I have added a section on the what how I want the table. Because in economics we have specific formats we like. Not that's not that necessarily the same in other disciplines. So I have instructions as to how I would like to format the regression analysis, like coefficients, standard errors, p-value, and asterisks, and tech and stuff. Right. And one more thing I have is that with the AI assistant, it's actually very easy to do version control. You just literally tell it to do version control, and it would set up the Git repository for you and make commitments. One thing that's make it difficult, I guess, for our users in the past to do these kind of version control, which is very helpful, is that the syntax. You have to remember the syntax is hard, and now you don't have to do that. You just use natural language to say we should do version control. All right, so that's what we have. Let's add that too. And then once again, start the AI assistant. Right. So and then just please follow the instructions in instructions.txt. Right. And this time it's going to take even longer because of how many papers I'm not going to ask it to read. And this is also one section where you might want to consider asking the AI agent to use pure text input if you know that there's going to be a lot of PDFs you want to analyze. Um, I guess I would still try to let it run through the PDFs. There are a lot of them, as you see. I have quite a few papers here and see how it does. Probably going to take a bit of time. But once again, you're not going to expect your human research assistant to be able to read through that many papers in like 5 minutes. So we just give it some time and then we'll come back when it's ready, right? So we just let it run. All right, so after a while, quite a while, right? It told me it has completed its task. Now, because of the instruction I gave it, the output is actually in the results folder. And then you see that it actually has generate diagrams on its own, right? These things here. And then finally, finally the papers outside here, right? The PDF, right? Fancy looking, an investigation of the factors affecting housing prices, right? Written on December 4th by Finchi Chow, right? And right, introduction, literature review, empirical evidence with references. Actually, I've checked the references previously. It's yeah, kind of it's reasonable. It's reasonable, right? Like variable definitions, descriptive statistics, the regression on equations. Yeah, a bit amateur, I would say. But undergrads do that. Undergrads do that. So it's not like I've not seen that. If I don't want them, I should have stated that in the instructions not to include these models equations here. Um, The regression results, because I've stated what I want, it's actually pretty nice looking. Like the coefficients, standard errors, and the asterisk indicating statistical significance. Uh, I guess once again, I didn't actually state how what unit what whether what unit it should use. I probably should have told it that you really want it in thousands, right? It's not a very smart research assistant, junior research assistant. So it didn't figure that out on its own. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. Here, I probably should have explicitly told it about the unit it should be using if it's too big, right? R square, observations, key findings, like limitations, references. Overall, I mean, it's not obviously not like publishable quality, but it's good start. It's a good start, right? And the more detailed instructions you gave it, the better it could do, right? So this is the thing is the most important thing is to realize that this is all done with a single prompt. Please follow the instructions in the instruction text, and the instructions is pretty generic. Like this is something I could have reused in the future if I need to, right? All right, and I just want to follow up on the idea that you really should use version control, because it's so easy to use version control, right? So the use of Git repository allows you to keep track of every single change you make, and you can also have branches to explore different ideas and merge them in if necessary. So the thing is that the way it works is this: if you didn't include in the instructions, what you want to do is just to tell it like create a repository and commit. All right. Here, obviously, it has already done that, so this step is not necessary. But if you're not sure, you can always say like create a repository and commit if it has not been done so, right? And it would tell you that it has been done, right? So so it would work. It will work and keep track of the files, right? Has it properly created and all files are committed, right? And then and if every time you make a change, you just tell it to commit, right? And then we'll just keep track of every change, and you can always show show all commits. You can just tell it, and it will show you the commits. There's only run right now, but if actually two, because the initial one doesn't include the report, right? Commit free and so on and so forth, right? So you can always switch back to a previous commit. Oops, yep. Right, so you can always switch back to a previous commit. You see you can just use once again natural language to tell it like I want to go back to the commit two, commit one, commit three based on like result. Um, Another thing as I've mentioned is that you can if you have some exploratory analysis you're not sure you want to keep, you can say like create a new branch called, for example, if I want to run additional regressions, I will call for example, here, I probably want to, let's say I want to run some log regressions call. I can have and switch, just create a new branch and switch to that branch. Now, this allows me to do exploratory analysis, and it's all going to be saved in this particular branch. And if I want it, I can keep it. If I don't, then I can just discard it. So it also allows you to just work on the files uh forever how long you want. You can just keep the different branches, right? So here I'm just gonna go ahead and create the branches, the new branch, and it's gonna switch to it, right? And then that's going to be reflected on the files here because when you switch to a new branch, the whole directory files is going to be reflecting the particular branch. So the way to you can switch back and forth is just once again use natural language to tell it like switch back, right? You can tell it just if you so what is the current branch? That's going to tell you it's log regression, and you can do things like run all regressions again, but with the dependent variable in log, right? Something like that. And it goes to run everything again, and you can just commit afterwards, right? This would commit the um Right? So this would commit the content to the new branch. Let's try that, and then I can always pause. I will pause the recording and come back. All right. Recording with the journal log, generate a new report. Right. Maybe in fact, but with maybe I'll just say with the numeric variables in log, right? And then generate new report, commit at the end. Right? All right, so let's just do that and give it some time. All right, so after letting the assistant work on its own for a while, and all right, so let's take a look. There's a new report. Okay, with log transformed analysis. I don't think I really want it in the name of the article, but once again, you need to be specific in your instructions. Otherwise, the AI is going to make its own interpretation that may or may not make sense. But anyway, it did what I asked it for. The analysis is now in log, is in natural log. All right, so that's done. Now, once again, if I'm happy with it, then I would just say I did ask it to commit just now, so it's committed already. And let's say this is a ongoing work, right? So in a project, you have many things you want to try. Not all of them are going to work out immediately. So the way to do this is to use branches. So here I have a log analysis I'm working on. Maybe it's not ready, and I want to switch back to the main branch. So, so you can just say switch back to the main branch on the master branch. Or right? So here's back to the master, and you see that the files change on the left. Do you see that the log analysis is gone, right? Log analysis is gone. It's back to this one, so the original one. Here you could have another branch. Let's say create another branch called robustness check, right? And then this you can separately work on this robustness check branch, independent from the log analysis, the log regression branch. That these two branches are all based on the master branch, but they could be completely separate, and you don't have to keep all of them, right? And let's switch back to the log branch. Uh, Switch to the log regression branch. Right, switched, and let's take a look. Files are back. Right, if you're happy with it, you can say merge this branch into master. This would mean that these things are now accepted to the main branch, right? So make sure this is what you want. Of course, you can always go back, but the whole point of having different branches is to keep things separated until you know you want to keep them. So let's just do that. Right? It's now merged and everything will be in the main branch, right? So if obviously if you don't want it, you can just discard it too. But you can keep it as long as you wish, like they are completely separated. You can have many branches, right? So let's go back. So tips to getting good results. There are several things you want to bear in mind. First, the overarching principle is treat the AI assistant as if it is a junior research assistant. That is, one, you want to be specific as possible as to what you want. As you see in the demonstration, when you don't mention something, the AI would make its own interpretation, which may not be what you want. So your your instructions should be as detailed and specific as possible. Second, whatever human research assistants cannot complete immediately, it will be the same with the AI assistant. The AI needs to think, and it takes time. And just give it time. Um, it, if you don't expect your human research assistant to get back to you immediately, the AI will not get. You should not expect the same from the AI. Finally, really encourage everyone to use version control. Commit would keep a copy, you'll keep a checkpoint of what you are having at this moment, and you can always go back to previous checkpoints. Switch branch to allow you to work on new things in parallel. And finally, for things that you want to keep, you can merge into the master, and that would be the main branch that you could work forward. Right, safety. we do have to mention safety. Whenever you have you have an AI assistant working for you, you have to bear in mind safety. By default, the AI assistant has complete autonomy on your SCRP account. Now, that sounds dangerous. Um, it is pretty safe if you're mainly using SCRP with the AI assistant. That's because the SCRP account running on our server is completely isolated from your own computer, right? So you can drag files in, you can download files, but if you don't do that, the uh, cluster cannot do that for you, right? So the SCRP account is isolated from your own computer. Nothing the AI assistant can do can mess up with your own computer. So it's safe on that perspective, right? However, there are users who are heavy users of SCRP on their own, right? Once again, thank you for using SCRP, right? So there are those of you who run a lot of analysis on your own on SCRP. Now, for those of you who are doing that, you might be worried that the AI might mess up with your files, despite the safeguard built in, and that's a legitimate concern. So for those of you who want the AI assistant to be additionally separated from your own SCRP files, then we will be introducing an additional layer of isolation soon, right? So essentially, it will be working in the same way as a human research assistant. For those of you who have a research team, you know we have this group directory that we allow you to share files with your assistants and human assistants, and we will be extending that mechanism to AI research assistants very soon, right? Well, finally, account and access, account creation. For students, you know you have accounts, right? It's your computer ID. For faculty members that needs an account, just email me at vincichow@chuhk.edu.hk and I will create an account for you. Right? You have to create a password for the account to work. The email you receive will have a link, and then for SCRP-Chat, you connect to the browser interface through SCRP-Chat, scrp-chat.econ.echuhk.edu.hk, and for SCRP-Assistant, you would have to log into our Jupyter lab interface, and that's as you can just get there from with scrp-login or scrp-login-2.econ.chuhk.edu.hk. Right. So what's next? Please try it out and you can read the documentation. This is the documentation for SCRP-Chat. The assistant is still in development, so we don't have documentation yet. We'll have it soon, right? And if there's anything, let me know, and I'm here to help.